Hiya, it's Linda Lee, and welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, thanks for stopping by. And what I'm going to actually share here is a project that I have been working on for quite some time. It's for a friend in the group that I'm admin to, or one of the admins, Junk Journal Junkies Etc. And I'm finally finished with it. I finished it actually during Hurricane Ian because we couldn't do anything, and I have a nice window right here, so during the daytime when there was no power, I at least had the ability to do a little crafting. So I got this all finished, and we've had a little bit of time pass since then, and I want to get this in the mail, so here we are. This here is actually an envelope, or a napkin that I folded into an envelope and then just kind of trimmed it out with different crochet trims and laces. This piece right here with the ruffle actually is a table runner that I cut down to fit, and I did stitch the outer edge of the envelope, and this here I used Fabri-Tac. So, and then when we look at the crocheted trim part, this here is sewn on the flap, and then the rest of it is glued into place. So it's all pretty permanent though. And then I just stitched on the great big button, used a little bit of twine and pearls, and right here, let's see if we can see what it says. Cherish friends, definitely. So anyway, let's go inside. I want to show you the journal. Now, I intentionally made this journal to fit inside this envelope, so it's not really bulky. I didn't want it to have a lot of girth. I kind of talked a little bit about that in the process video that I have putting this journal together. So if I repeat myself, I apologize, but sometimes people don't look at the processes, they just look at the finished products. So this here is actually an altered file folder journal, and I took the front and the back piece of the journal and cut it down the fold and then put them together. So I have one piece is the outer, and then some papers, and then one piece is the inner, and then more pieces of paper. So it's kind of divided up. I do have some sewing in it. It's held together with a vintage doily that I got from Arcadia, tied shut with some seam binding. This seam binding, I get all of it from Kelly. So I will put in the description the list of products or items that I've gotten from Bygone's Variety and some other little links, so you can kind of find the process video if you want to take a look and whatnot. But I did make these melted flowers. You've seen these before. And then this one was just a piece of scalloped ruffle that I tore the piece out of the edge of it. Here, I'm looking to see if I have any next to me. I don't. And then stitched it and then pulled it tight, and it just made this little scalloped 5-petal flower. And then these little pieces here came from a larger, that I do have right here, a larger piece of lace that someone had gifted me. I apologize, I don't remember who it came from. But if you see this, comment so I can say thank you, because it's all the way through this journal. It's really pretty. Anyway, let's just basically take a look inside. Now, it is not a naked journal, which are my favorite ones to make. It does have a little more embellishing than that, but again, I wanted to make sure it stayed flat so it would fit in the envelope, and I also wanted to make sure that it was easy to transport. So just taking a look at the cover a little bit, this piece right here came from some queen mail I had received when I was queen of the Wall of Inspiration. So that was 2.5 years ago. So we've had a lot of queens, and it's a real fun way to get involved through the Wall of Inspiration and to appreciate each other and celebrate each other's creativities and participation. So it's a really fun program. So definitely take a look at that if you haven't already. I encourage you to take part. That way you can make friends. You have a place to send all the stuff that you make, because after a while it just ends up in a pile. But also we inspire each other to do things maybe a little differently than we had thought about before. But anyway, this was something that inspired the color palette for the rest of the journal. And the person that I had made this for actually was a queen. So that's kind of where it started. But it's been months, literally months, since she was queen. So I apologize for that. And I just have a little charm on a ball pin here. And I do have a couple of charms throughout, not too many. Most of it, like I said, is just, well, I'm going to show you. Ready? So this is all avocado dyed paper. I use my little finger painting technique. I have every page is distressed, stenciled, and stamped, as well as the avocado treatment. I have some little pockets only on the file folder pieces of the journal. So I've got little pockets here, and you can see the sewing and the stenciling. The little journal cards as well are kind of low profile, just so it wouldn't add to the bulk. And this journal card, I have one in the front, one in the back. These are the only pieces that actually have coffee dyeing on them. This is another journal card that is actually a washi tape, and I just cut it down to look kind of like a postcard because of the way it was stamped and written. It was really pretty, at least to me. And then this right here is another piece of avocado dyed paper, and just using my little circle tab to keep it shut. So I do that a lot in my journals. So just kind of tucking everything in. And I don't have, like I said, a lot of embellishing. I was hoping, of course, you make things with an intention, but you never know how it's going to be received, that the recipient will journal basically on every surface. So we shall see. So like I said, I don't have a lot of stuff on the pages, just the stamping, stenciling, and then the avocado treatment, and then the edges are all distressed. I have a little charm right here on a gold paper clip. And this here is a stamp I really haven't used too much just yet. I used it in a create book that I made for Joni, but that's it so far. So I just put it on a little graph paper index card, and just added, you know, pieces of crochet and lace. So little journal spot, and then more journal spot. This here is like an envelope for a card, you know, the little gift cards that go on like flowers or gifts and stuff. It's just a tiny envelope that I stenciled and distressed and stamped. More little embellishments from the little lace piece, and I have it held with a little tiny Velcro dot, so that way it doesn't flap around. It stays closed, so you can kind of hide a little note in here. I just put a little tiny journal looking thing in here. It's just torn little pieces of paper. I've got a torn pocket in here that anything can be put in. Well, not anything, it's pretty tiny, right? And then a little piece of paper that didn't make it into the journal, I just stuck that in there too. So that's what's in this little pocket. Little secrets. And then again, just lace stitched to the individual page. And then that's the first part of the one part of the signature. It's all just one signature. And then again, a pocket on the file folder. Now the stencil or the inks that I used for this one, I used walnut stain for the distressing. I used gathered twigs for the stamping, and then I used the Victorian velvet as well for the stenciling and the black soot. So when you're looking at some of the stenciling, you can see how it's black with pink in it, or more on the other ones it's pink with black in it. Those are the color combos that I've used for this particular journal. And so moving on, another little journal card and another piece of the avocado paper with a little tab closure on it just to keep it shut. And on the flip side, I have an envelope glued down with a seam binding underneath it, and just using the seam binding to keep it shut. Again, my little flowers and pieces of lace decorating, and then another of the Italian stamped index card, and then a little piece of paper that's just simply stenciled and stamped and distressed. Again, still the avocado dyed paper. I do a lot with avocado dyed paper only because I got a thing for pink, and I love the way it looks with the browns and green, but mostly with pink and browns, which is pretty much what this little booklet is. So again, more on stitching on the edge. Here's a bigger piece with some stamping. And again, I just wanted it to be able to be written on without too much interfering with whatever she might write, whether it's lists, thoughts, ideas, dreams, who knows, just random stuff sometimes is the best, you know, for creativity, just to get it done on the paper so you can release it and then just focus on other things. Now this little index card or card catalog card, that's got the same, you know, stenciling and stamping with distressing. A little piece of lace, and I just stapled that together. This here is another little charm. CJ, if you're out there somewhere, I'm still using the little pieces from your Africa trip where they made these beads. Thank you so much. I think I'm almost out of them. I don't have too many left. I use them sparingly, but just a little shout out and a thank you, because I do still truly love them. All right, and more journaling spot. The lace is just kind of glued down and stitched. And then this is the center of the signature itself. Now it took me a little while for whatever reason to kind of figure out this 2-pocket thing. It's a 12 by 12 piece of design paper, and I just folded it so that, you know, the 2 points came together here and it created 2 little pockets. I had my little Velcro dots on it, and before I kind of had the folding figured out, you can see it got a little wonky here, but I love the way it looked with the paper, the colors. So it found a home, and it's gonna go to my friend I'm sending this to. And this here is just a little bag, little craft paper bag that has the similar stamping. So little receipts or notes or pieces of paper can be stuffed in there. On this side of the bulldog clip, I just have a postcard. This is the day that I actually finished the journal. And today is the 25th, so I've still had it for 2 weeks since. I'm so sorry. It's just the way things happen for me. I don't know what it is. Sometimes it just... Anyways, no excuses. just results. So I have here a little bookmark specimen tag type thing that I made out of a junk mail envelope. So I just cut that piece out of the envelope and stitched around it and stuffed some little dried flowers in there. And again, it can be journaled on, even on the front or the back. And I have one more little charm up here in the corner, and it is clear quartz with this little, I believe this is a Swarovski rondelle. So it's the AB crystals in it, if you can see it. I can't tell for sure, but it's in here. And on the other side, I have another little journal card that I can tell has already came out because I pulled the clip. Just a little pink index card type thing. This is actually cardstock that's been distressed and stenciled and stamped. And the same stamp, I just used a different color ink. And then, this actually goes in this little pocket.
So, I guess I didn't kind of put it all together before I started filming, so. Ta-da!
This little organza bag I have glued down to the altered file folder. And basically I just used a real thick application of the Elmer's glue stick. And then when I push the bag down, I put some cardstock. Here I just used like this wax paper around the cardstock, and then made sure I pressed a lot of weight on it until it was completely dry, so that the front part wouldn't stick to the back. So that way, for as long as it stays stuck, I'm not even sure how long it will. But at least you're able to use the bag. So I have another little bookmark type card and another piece of paper with my little tab. And more daisies. So another pocket, more cards for journaling. And this right here is another little envelope that I have glued down. This one's glued down a little differently. So we still have the seam binding beneath it, but this one it flips open this way, and you can write here, you can write underneath it, and then you can also stuff something inside it and then tie it back shut. So another little secret spot. Not so secret because we all know it's there, but at least it's not as easily viewed upon if you use it. So anyway, more journal place. And then this right here is another one of my avocado papers. And this here is just a little tab that is glued onto the bottom so that papers don't necessarily fall out the bottom if it's carried or moved about. More journaling pages. And then this here, I've started putting this in most everything that I make journal-wise. It's a writing board. So if you want to actually write, say you wanted to journal on this side of the paper, having this envelope with the crochet and the knot to the bow underneath, you don't necessarily have a flat surface to write against. So this right here would allow you to have the nice flat surface. Same thing like underneath. See here, I didn't put those away again. I gotta make sure I do. Same idea like on this page here. So anything that might inhibit, you can put it underneath and you have a nice flat surface. So the way I made this is it's 2 pieces of cardboard that are glued together, and then a single piece of paper that is wrapped around it so there's no seam right here. And then I just distressed and sewed around the outer edges, as well as added a little of the coordinating lace to this right here. Actually, it's 2 different laces, but very similar. So this went all the way to the back, where there's one more pocket and a few more cards. Again, this is the only piece that's coffee stained. Everything else is avocado dyed. And that is my gift to my friend. And this right here is the little card that will be inside. I'm not going to show you who, because I'll probably post this before I mail it, because it's been a little while. I just in case for whatever reason I don't get it in the mail right away. So thank you so much for spending time with me and for hanging out through this flip through. I will take some pictures so that you can look at the little slideshow of some up close things within this project, and I will see you in the next video. Have a good night. Thanks for hanging. Bye-bye.